Hello and welcome to the channel, Gav Axeman Spins. It is March, the sun is out, as promised, a ranking video on a band from the noughties onwards that came through in the last 20 years, which will be none other than Sheffield's finest, the Arctic Monkeys. Great minds think alike. So I thought at the start of the month I'd kind of do the theme of the noughties and look at some kind of music that's more recent, shall we say, you know, in the last 20 years or so, rather than the 90s and 80s and beyond kind of stuff. And I know Rob Walker on his channel has highlighted 20 odd albums from the last 20 years to kind of show and tell, to try and maybe encourage in the old vinyl community a bit more kind of more contemporary stuff. And it got me thinking, so who shall I do? And I thought of all of the bands that came out in that 2000 to 2010 kind of era, which for me seemed to be the last era of guitar-based rock, pop, indie music. I thought, well, who's still around, and who would anyone be interested if they announced they were doing a new album next week? And I've got to be honest, the Arctic Monkeys are the only one that I could come up with that I thought would have lasted the course. There was loads of good bands at that time. I won't name names, but I saw a lot of bands in that 2000, 2010 who started well with their debut albums and then just seemed to peter out and are almost now in the greatest hits, chicken in a basket kind of circuit. And it's a real shame. And when you look at the charts in the UK, if anyone bothers with them, if you look at the, say, the Grammy Awards and things like that, really rock, guitar, indie pop bands are no more. Boy bands, girl bands seem to be no more. It's all solo artists, isn't it? You know, your Ed Sheerans, your Taylor Swifts, your rap music. There doesn't seem to be a lot happening in this kind of music. And I did read somewhere a stat that, you know, if you looked at the top selling artists in, you know, 20 years ago, you know, 75-80% were bands of some description. Now you'd be lucky if it's like 5%. There's just not a lot happening. And the bands that are still selling and are popular are legacy bands, older bands. So they are really the last of that kind of era. And it's a testament to them that they managed to ride the changing fashion. So let's have a little look at the studio albums. I'm just going to rank them now. When I do ranking videos, these are, you know, what's at the bottom is not necessarily a bad album. So it will just be, if somebody was going out to buy one of their albums tomorrow, the one I'll put at the top is the one I'd say, look, start there. The second one will be, you know, if you like that one, follow it up with this. And the last one will just be the one that's the least essential of all the catalogue, but actually might still be a really good album in its own right. So just bear that in mind. Also going to mention some side projects. Alex Turner has done a solo EP. He's done a couple of albums as well. So the solo EP is well worth getting out. It's a little 6-song soundtrack, very acousticy kind of stuff. Really, really nice record. This is on my hated 10-inch format, so I'm glad to say I've also got the CD. Filmed by Richard Ayoade, who was in the IT Crowd, for those that know, Moss. So really good little film as well, actually. So like a little indie film with a little indie soundtrack, well worth tracking down. Shame it's on 10-inch. He was also, as I said, done a side project with Miles Kane called The Last Shadow Puppets. This is a debut. Now, if I was ranking this within the Arctic Monkeys stuff, it would be really, really high, this album. I saw them on this tour and it was fabulous. Little mini orchestra, lots of kind of 60s influenced. They played all of this album, some cover versions, really nice David Bowie song called In the Heat of the Morning. And it's very much in that kind of mid-60s kind of pre-Sergeant Pepper kind of era, acoustic-y. Think, you know, A Hard Day's Night, The Birds, Mr. Tambourine Man, that type of stuff, like it's proper 60s kind of influence stuff, and really, really good with a lovely orchestral kind of flourishes as well. So well worth getting. That's their first album. The second album wasn't quite so good, but it's still worth having. It's called Everything You Come to Expect. That's what, you know, it's okay, not bad, but it's not quite as good as the first one. And they also did a little EP called the Dream Synopsis EP, and to date that's as much as has come out from that side project. So I don't know whether that's the end of that, whether they'll do some more stuff, who knows. Arctic Monkeys then. So if I was in a record shop and I was stood next to you and you said to me, right, I've got nothing by the Arctic Monkeys, they've got 7 albums here, which is the one you would not buy first, this is where this would be my advice. So think of it like that. So because I think all of their albums are good, a couple are exceptional, and but they're all worth having. There's no duffers in their catalogue. They are all slightly different and they feed off each other, but they did do a little bit of an about face with album number 6, which is for me the bottom of the ranked album, which is Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. So why have I put this on the bottom? Well, mainly because what followed it is better, and this is a complete about face. There you go, get the glare off that. A complete about face for what went before, and it kind of laid the path for what came after. It's a very brave album. This it's nothing like anything else in their catalogue. They're probably one of the few bands in recent years that have surprised me. This came out and it wasn't what I was expecting. I don't think it was what anyone was expecting. It's kind of almost like film music, 60s kind of spy films, Lee Hazelwoody kind of stuff, kind of almost what's that dreaded phrase? It's escaping me now. Kind of new agey, lounge music-y kind of weird stuff. So kind of almost pre Beatles kind of pop music. Very, very different. But it's one of those albums, the more you play it, the more rewarding it is. But it is a bit of a polarising album, because I know I've got some friends who are big Arctic Monkeys fans who absolutely hated it when it came out. I've got other friends who loved it the minute it came out. I was right in the middle. I knew it, from pretty much the opening track on. I thought, hold on, this is a little bit different. Guitar's pretty much nowhere to be found. I think he started writing on the piano with this one. It's kind of a weird concept album. Lyrically, it is literally all over the place. Some good tracks on here, but they don't make a lot of sense, is the honest answer. But it's a strange album, because it could easily be on another day be my favourite Arctic Monkeys album, because it's just such a different sounding album. So it's a concept album about a luxury hotel in space. The videos that came out with some of the singles are quite weird. It just doesn't have what I would call a standout song for me. That's probably why it's at the bottom. But as an album, it's a really nice album to listen to. I say it's a late night album, maybe with a nice sophisticated cocktail on your kind of lounge chair to check out. Lovely gatefold, very, very strange album, and very good, but it's not the one you'd start with, is it, on the Arctic Monkeys? I hope you agree with me, but more of what came next to later. But yeah, so that one, I wouldn't dive into their catalogue with that one, but it's certainly one that maybe people who don't like their early stuff might decide that this is the greatest album ever made. It's so different, and a bit of an anomaly in the catalogue so far, but yeah, that will be at bottom, as they say. After that, really, it was quite hard kind of separating what will come next, because I think all of the other albums are good, but I'm just kind of going to build up with what comes after this one will be slightly better, and so on and so on. So would be album number 4, Suck It and See. Lovely plain simplistic cover there. Yeah, so artwork minimal, nice gatefold, but this is a good album. Certainly nothing wrong with this album. For me, this is their most indie album. I hear echoes of the Stone Roses in this one quite a bit. It's a little bit like an acoustic-y indie guitar band from the late 80s kind of vibe. It's that they drop the heaviness a little bit on this one, but it's a really nice album. The Hellcat Spangled Shalala, Don't Sit Down Because You've Moved Your Chair, Black Treacle, Pile Driver Waltz, which was on the soundtrack. That's really good. So it's just a really, really good, solid indie guitar album. Slightly less remarkable than some, but nothing wrong with this album as well. So that would be my number 6, and that was from 2011. The next one I picked would be their second album, Favourite Worst Nightmare, get the title right. That was actually a house that they painted, and the rooms were painted, they put lights on, so really, really good. Got the artwork on this one actually. Nothing wrong with this, a really solid follow-up to the debut. The singles were all good, weren't they? Brian Storm, Teddy Picker, Fluorescent Adolescent. You can't go wrong really with this, can you? 505, the closing track's a really good one. This house is it's just a good solid indie guitar pop album, this. So the production was slightly beefed up from the debut, but not wrong with that one. So that would be my 5th Arctic Monkeys album in their ranking. So the 4th one for me, this one I really like because this was a little mini kind of team up with the Queens of the Stone Age frontman, and which is a band I really liked. Recorded out in the Desert, I think. It's got Cornerstone on it, this one, which is one of my favourite songs they did. This was the album where the singles stopped coming out on CD and started coming out on 10-inch in the UK via Oxfam. There's the old Desert that they were recording in. But Crying Lightning, great song. Cornerstone, as I've mentioned. My Propeller was a good one. Fire and the Thud, the Judas. It's just a good, solid rock album. This a little bit heavier, and yeah, the drums, Matt Helm, isn't it? The drummer, really, really good. So that would be my 4th Arctic Monkeys on the ranking. So the top 3, short catalogue. So the third one I've put is their latest one, The Car. Now, the reason I put what preceded this at the bottom is because this kind of took that formula and just notched it up a ramp, and I think they got it absolutely right on this one. Lovely minimal artwork there. I think, how did that car get on that roof? Nobody will know. It's just a really, really solid album, this. There Better Be a Mirror Ball, Jet Skis on the Moat. It's good lyrics, Perfect Sense is a really nice song. Just a really, really clever modern pop album, really. Well worth getting, and again, one of those that the more you play it, the more it kind of sinks in. So well worth getting that one, and I think that's put them back kind of on track if people were starting to wonder where they were going. But well worth getting if you haven't picked that one up. And to date, 2022, that's their most recent album. So top 2, obviously the debut I have to now put in. This is a stunning record, and when it came out, I think it kind of surprised everyone by how good it is. The singles obviously preceded it. I think Fake Tales of San Francisco is like a limited kind of single. That's a great song. Obviously the big one was I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, and that's become in the UK kind of like a little anthem featured in the Jubilee celebrations, the Olympics, things like that. My favourite track on the album is A Certain Romance, the final track, because I think that one lyrically almost it tries to encapsulate the times that it was written and conceived and came about in. And there's a great little line on there that people only make music these days to sell ringtones, and that kind of it's quite prescient that as to what kind of followed with this type of music, that the mainstream kind of moved away from it. Dancing Shoes, great track. There is a little live album on a box set of the Arctic Monkeys as well. That's well worth getting as well. Mardy Bum, When the Sun Goes Down. There's a couple of singles that weren't on albums from this era as well. So, but if you haven't got this is probably the last stunning indie guitar debut album that made any kind of impact. It's a fabulous album, and yeah, 2006, which is nearly 20 years ago, which is quite scary, isn't it? But brilliant album. But it's my number 2, because my number 1 would be the brilliant AM. Everything about this album I like. I think the artwork kind of stands out, doesn't it? Its production is superb. Here's the gatefold. The songwriting is just brilliant on it. There is nothing I can say. I think this is a little bit of a modern masterpiece. The idea was, when they made it, they'd try and reference kind of modern R&B radio dance music and hone the guitars on that. So they dialed down the busyness of the drumming. They've got a brilliant drum in the Arctic Monkeys, but they kept it really simple and then built the songs around the rhythm section. So the opening couple of tracks, Do I Wanna Know and Are You Mine, they are modern kind of rock guitar anthems in my opinion. And I think what they did with this album, they kind of perfected their style, and hence they've done something totally different ever since. But this is a brilliant album. John Cooper Clarke's on there. They adapt one of his poems in I Wanna Be Yours, and I think lyrically they've nicked a lot from there. But #1 party album, one for the road. And of course, the immortal Why Do You Only Call Me When You're High, Knee Socks. Everything about this album is brilliant. It is, I think, a modern classic. Not only is it, I think, the best Arctic Monkeys album, I think it's one of the best albums, certainly, of the last, 10 years, and probably of the 2000s onwards. I think is right up there. And if anyone's ever doing lists of the greatest albums of all time, I actually think it would actually fit into that. It's that good. So that's my favourite Arctic Monkeys album. A short catalogue, but sweet. So let me know what you think. What they're going to do next, I don't know. Did you stick with them after the Tranquility Base Hotel album, or have you abandoned them? Yeah, is there anyone else out there that you think is deserving of that kind of band of the last 20 years? Because I really had to rack my brains, really, when I was doing this video, as to who else I would kind of give that honour to. So I hope you enjoyed that. Channel Gavaxman Spins. If you are already commenting, liking, subscribing, thank you very much. If you've made it to 16 minutes of this video and have yet to do so, please consider doing the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Over and out.